Alright, let's do this. Let's do this video. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach, aka Crochet ZV-E10, and I'm a crochet artist. I'm a good-to-me designer, plushie maker, crochet yarn mogul, crochet internet superstar. Here on the internet to entertain you with all things crochet and whatever I feel like talking about this week. Yeah. Welcome along to another vlog. This one is a very exciting special vlog because we're going to New Zealand. Yes, we are going back to New Zealand, back to my homeland. I am so excited to go see my family, my friends. I get to bring my partner along and introduce him to the world of where I grew up and how I was raised and everything like that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a bit of a different vlog. It's gonna be more of a travel vlog with elements of crochet, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Before we go, I've had a few things that I need to get sorted. I had a triple pattern release this morning. I don't know why I decided to do that on the day before I left, but I did. And then I needed to prepare some content, which I'll talk about very, very shortly. And then I need to prepare my project, my travel project. Then I am going to actually go on the trip and then we'll come back and I guess have like reflections, I don't know. So this morning we had a triple pattern release, very, very exciting. We had the release of the Little Llama Buddy, otherwise known as the Little Love Llama. Isn't that cute? This is my Valentine's pattern. It is my first monthly Patreon pattern, so everyone on my Patreon voted for this design. Now it has all been uploaded, put online. My Patreon has been sent the code to download this pattern, and I'm just very, very excited to see what my Patreon makes using the pattern, all the different llamas. It's gonna be a bit of a llama army this week. I really do love it when people tag me in the creations of my patterns. It's a very, very fulfilling feeling knowing that people are actually using my patterns and creating the cutest things with them. And like, I don't know if people talk about this enough, but as a crochet pattern designer, you feel very, it's almost like involved, or not involved, but like it feels like a pay it forward kind of thing. Like I put all this time into creating this cute design that I think will be loved, and then people get to use that design and create an object that will be loved, and then they get to pass that love on. I feel like I get to be a part of everyone expressing their gratitude, love for crochet, or even just part of people's gifts into other people's homes and things. It's a weird feeling and I don't know how to describe it. I'm trying my best to say it's lovely. I hope you understand what I mean. So I am very, very excited to see what everyone makes and all the joy that this pattern gives to the world. So yeah. In addition to that, as you may have seen in my last video, this is Mike the Llama that I was using as a microphone. This is the Itty Bitty Llama pattern, but this one I made with chunky yarn using Honey Bunny Big yarn. This pattern has also been released today. This is my like no-sew market make version of a llama, which is also a Patreon pattern, but for a different tier level of my Patreon. People in that tier level will also be getting an Itty Bitty pattern as well as the Buddy pattern from before. I'm just so excited to see the llama army. I'm so excited to see the llama army on Instagram. And then last but not least, we also have the Little Sylveon Buddy, which is once again a Patreon pattern, but this one is Patreon exclusive. The other two you can find over on my Etsy and on my store, crochetmezeti.com. But this one here is a Patreon only pattern going out to everyone who is part of the Buddies Extra tier. I have spent the morning uploading patterns, creating listings, getting all the photos correct, making sure I'm creating content around celebrating the pattern releases and everything like that. So it has been a very busy morning and I haven't yet packed for my trip. So I've got an hour to do that, so I need to do that very, very shortly. But one other thing that I was doing this morning, which I'm very, very proud of, was, well, I just mentioned it then, was creating content celebrating the pattern release. I was like, oh, I need to create content just to like release while I'm away. I need to have like a backlog of reels, drafts, and everything like that. And I don't know what it was. During the pattern release, I felt so burnt out, like trying to think of like, what can I do? There's like a video, what would be good? What would be engaging? After I like posted one initial reel about it, I made a further 14 videos just doing random jokes and everything. And it was because my partner was like, Zach, like stop stressing out. The more you stress out, the less inspired you'll be to make videos. And he was right. Took a deep breath and I was like, you know what? Let's just make funny content. Let's go back to my roots of Crochet ZV-E10 and let's just make a bunch of funny videos. So by the time you're seeing this video, you would have probably seen me in this exact getup, just being funny. I don't know what it is, but I think this past like end of year, start of this year, I think I've just become so business focused with Zaddy crafts, and there's a little part of me that's like kind of hitting a wall when trying to think about new reels and content and everything. And I think today I really found that what I just said was like a throwback to my original content, which was me just being funny online. And I was like, why am I not just doing that? Why am I trying to worry about like pattern sales and whether something will be engaging and things? I was like, let's just go back to being funny. Let's just have more fun again. So if you have seen all these videos, or you keep seeing some of these appear after this vlog has come out, then you should be going on those videos and being like, hey Zach, you're funny, and validate me, because I am seeking validation right now. So there's me getting prepared for everything like content wise, just to be posting things while I'm away. And then the other thing is my travel crochet project. Without further ado, let me introduce you to it. Or should I say, let me reintroduce you to it. Da 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 da! Do you all remember this cutie? Do you? Hands up if you do. Yes. This is the crochet shirt that I was making on my last retreat, on my last trip when I was over in the USA, when I went on the crochet retreat with the crochet crew. Hi crochet crew if you're watching. I never finished this. I don't actually know how much time I'm gonna have available to crochet, so I was like, let's do this. Let's just use whatever time I have available to finish this shirt, and let's restrict ourselves. Let's not try be ambitious and create anything new. Let's just finish a project. So I'm planning to be working on this when I'm on the plane or have any downtime. All I need to do is figure out like the collar, the edging, and I literally think that's it. Then I just need to weave in the ends. So I'm gonna be bringing this. This is made with some yarn from a local yarn business from Patty and Banjo's place, which is my friend Mel. Hello, Mel. All her yarns are themed after cats, like in the crochet community, whether it be her cats or a friend's cat. I just think it's fun branding. But this is Banjo's blend. This is in the colorway Sandstorm, and it is a size 3 yarn. It is a 45% cotton yarn and a 55% acrylic. I'm gonna bring this last ball with me, as well as the remnants of whatever I was using last time. Let's just see if we get it done. Anyway, it is really, really hot in my room. This is probably one of the hottest days we've had in Melbourne. So I'm gonna go pack my bags and go get ready for my trip, and then I will see you all on the plane, I guess. Oh my God, that seems so like quick. Okay, let's go. We made it to New Zealand now after our 5 AM get up, and then cute little flight, very comfortable, but we're still quite tired. Just got some coffees, and then grabbing a rental car and driving up to the naughty north, Whangarei. Whangarei. Okay, bye. Hello. Okay, we've got our rental car now, so I'm going to drive up to Whangarei, and we're going to grab some food on the way. Tyne is our passenger princess for this trip.
Once, yeah.
For once, so I finally get to drive. Therefore, Tyne is now in charge of all the footage on the way up to Whangarei.
I will do my best.
You're okay with that responsibility?
Yeah, it's a big responsibility, but I'm ready. I've had a lot of training.
This is the most exciting part of this journey. Oh, God damn it.
And we're leaving the airport. The airport. The airport.
Wait, I need to figure out where we're going. I forgot the chopsticks. I forgot the chopsticks.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. We've made it to the halfway point, somewhat. About an hour and a half left to go of driving. The weather started getting a bit rainy, which is it's okay.
It's okay. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like pouring down rain.
I mean, after Melbourne's been so hot lately, I'm kind of excited to have this rain and then maybe cozy up for the next few days.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be nice, so I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's kind of like breezy.
Yeah.
Like mid-20s-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
cute.
fingers crossed it gets nicer. We're fine. Positive PMI, positive mental attitude.
Yeah, manifest it.
PMI?
I don't know, I've never heard of that before.
PMA. so bright. Oh my god.
James,
Because we're arriving. Whangarei's put out the welcome mat. I was gonna record this area as like a lush, thick bush jungle area of New Zealand, but there's like a shave to the hill.
oh no.
What has happened here?
Look at that though.
It is pretty. Okay, welcome to the tour. Okay, this view here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but you see through the smoky clouds up ahead.
Oh yeah, cool.
So you see out there, it looks like like an island of like a sleeping dragon. So the whole harbour like scoots around, and then we actually live out there.
That's so cool.
So we're out on the sleeping dragon, and so that's the part where like you come over this hill, and we're like, this is home. Anyway, onwards to home. It's like underwhelming sign. There might be another one up here that might be more. Normally it's these big two sails. Oh my god, one's been bashed in.
Oh my god.
What the heck has happened to my city?
Oh no.
Oh, there's a sign. This is Whangarei. Much nicer one. Yay! Welcome to the next part of the tour, aka we're arriving in Whangarei, and over here you'll see this weird little fish. Oh god, wait. See up ahead, that bridge over there?
Yeah.
It was like an award-winning design that they finally made for Whangarei to help fix like the congestion of all the traffic around here. And when they built it, yeah, got all these awards. Everyone was like, wow, amazing, like technological design, and also like an ode to the culture of New Zealand and whatnot with the fish hook. And then after winning all these awards and things, it was a really, really hot summer's day, and the bridge opened up and he was like, yay, and then they went to close it, but the mill expanded.
Oh shit.
And then the bridge got stuck.
Oh no.
After getting all these awards, so
Awkward.
that is our fun little design bridge thing.
Are we going on the bridge?
Yeah, we're going over the bridge.
That's so exciting.
Look at this amazingly designed bridge in the city of Whangarei, which some people will argue with me is not a city. But what really defines a city, huh? Wow.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us on the bridge. Oh, this thing over here.
Oh yeah.
This little sculpture here. So my friend's mum is a photographer.
Yeah.
And she helped build it, and it's like a pinhole photography thing.
Oh.
And you know with pinhole photography, you can have like you do it through like a little tin and you have a pinhole, right? And that's like how the first camera's made or something, I have no idea. Anyway, so you can do that kind of photography, but what happens is like the light shoots through the little pinhole and then it prints like upside down on the film paper.
Oh yeah.
And then you like develop it and get your film, right? That little box building back there is like a human-sized one, so you can go inside.
Oh wow.
And all the light goes through the tiny little pinhole and then it's like reflected on the wall in the background.
That's so cool.
Which is quite cool actually, yeah. So they were working on that for years to get that little art installation in.
Oh, that's awesome.
And over here is a dog park. And that's pretty much what Whangarei has to offer.
Oh.
Coming in here, we're doing a big reveal of Whangarei heads and how beautiful it is, because we finally made it to my home village. It's a beautiful place. This is where I grew up. A beautiful place. We're back home now. We spent last night playing board games and chilling out, catching up with the family, so I didn't get a lot of footage and things. We're about to go on a little hike up a mountain called Mount Manaia, which will be a cute time, and I'll bring you guys along on that. And then once we get back, I'm gonna show you something pretty cool, which is my first ever crochet project, which I've got stored here. So we'll do a little show and tell of some of my early crochet things. So let's go. Made it. How are we feeling, Tyne?
Good. Achieved. Tired.
How are we feeling, siblings?
Good.
I just got stung by a bee. Not that great.
Nice. Hooray! Wow, yay! Hello! Welcome back to my childhood bedroom with the bright green walls. If you are an OG follower of mine, like if you remember me from way back in the early TikTok days, back in like 2020, 2021, you remember that I was doing a lot of TikTok lives from this room before I moved to Australia. So welcome back to this room, I guess. I thought it'd be quite fun to do a little show and tell of all my original crochet creations because I've got quite the lineup here. Some of these are my first ever makes, and then some of these are my first ever tries using like a plush yarn. I thought it'd be fun just to revisit them and show you what I was getting up to in my early days of crochet. Now, just for a little bit of a reference, I learned to crochet back in 2018. Back in my workplace, I found a Stitch and Bitch club and they taught me how to crochet, and I did a lot of granny squares for ages. There is a bag of granny squares here where I did literally granny squares for about 2 years. And then in 2020 was when I made Crochet Me Zaddy and was finally determined to make plushies, which was always my initial goal. From there was when I kind of started making a bit of a name for myself online on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. When I first started like doing Amigurumi, it was because in the 2020 lockdowns, we all went into lockdown, right? My colleague, who was my crochet advisor of sorts, after we'd have like a team meeting, in our normal team meetings, we would carry on for like another 5 minutes in our own Skype, our own, what's it called, Teams call, and we would show each other what we've been working on for like the nights before. And that was like our therapeutic thing to get through the COVID lockdowns. And some of these creations are from that time. I think a lot of you might remember, you would have seen it somewhere in previous vlogs and things. I have this little pin cushion, which was my first original crochet amigurumi piece. That was Mrs. Prickles. I have a Mrs. Prickles 2.0. So this was actually the first ever pattern that I did. The original Mrs. Prickles is back in Melbourne and is my pin cushion. I decided the first thing I ever wanted to make was something that I could like destroy, or I didn't mind it being ugly, and so doing a pin cushion, a little cactus, seemed like a great idea. That's why it's still with me. And this one I did a year later just to see how much I improved, and I mean, from here you can see it's quite like tidy stitches. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Great. So you can see where I was like a year into crochet amigurumi, because when you revisit my second ever make, the Mr. Fox, you can see what my skill level was right at the start. If you look closely, the head and the body are both inside out, and I think the tail, if that's what you call this. This is such a weird little design, I'm not gonna lie. The tail itself is like the right way. So this is like the right side is on the outside and this is the wrong side on the outside. It's a bit interesting. I have no idea how I got my stitches so tight with such like a small yarn. I was so tense using this yarn. Look at the quality of this sewing. I think it's one of these ears is just like, yeah, that was, oof, that is rough. I still appreciate it. This was Mr. Fox. It was the same magazine that I got Mrs. Prickles from, and so these were essentially my first two patterns that I ever followed. Following that, I was like, what should I do next? I should make a cute otter. So I found this like blog online. I cannot remember where any of these patterns are from. So I found like a blog online. I decided that I wanted to make a otter. Look at this little cutie. I think my tension is so extremely tight, but it always made my crochet pieces look really, really tidy. Thank God for that tension. Although I did like hurt, I remember with this one particularly, I did hurt my hand muscles because I overdid the crocheting and I strained my hand and I had to like stop working on it for about 3 days. So I probably just went back to like Animal Crossing because that's all we're doing during the COVID lockdowns. The vast improvement from Mr. Fox to Otto the Otter. I feel like you can see me quickly improving. And then we have my fourth make, which was also my first ever Pokemon. This is my little oddish that I made. Isn't that great? I'm so proud of that one. I think this one turned out so cutely. This was also from some just like blog thing I found online. This one I forgot to actually attach the eyes, so they do just like fall out. Oh well. Oh god, oh my god, these stitches are so tight. I can't even get the eye back in. There we go, it's back in. So that's why it just sits on the shelf. It's not been handed to any toddlers or anything. I started doing amigurumi. It was coming up to Amiguru May, and that was the time where everyone needed to like post daily about what you're making and things. And yeah, I had only done, what, 3-4 amigurumi plushie things, and I was messaging, who was it? I think it was Crochet Designs, otherwise it was Happy Crochet Lady, which both of them are still quite active on social media. So hi friends if you're watching. And I think I was talking to both of them, and they were like, you should totally do Amiguru May, why not? It's a bit of fun. And I was like, are you sure? I've only just started crocheting. I don't really know what I'm doing. And they're like, nah, just do it, just do it. Using like these 4 crochet pieces, as well as whatever I crocheted over the next month, was how I completed the entirety of Amiguru May back in 2020. That is crazy. I had no idea what I was posting. I think everything I did was like a stretch. So this little cutie here, Happy Crochet Lady, actually sent me her squid pattern because she said I was funny. And she's like, I like your humor and your personality. Have a free crochet pattern of mine. And I was like, thank you. And that was the first act of kindness that I ever had in the crochet community. And since then, I've always passed on that kind of random act of kindness vibe to other people and things. So if you've ever experienced something like that from me, this is why. It's because of Happy Crochet Lady and her influence. Anyway, so she sent me this little baby squid pattern, which I now believe she has revamped. And so I made these 2 little squids because I think the prompt was to make something from the ocean or something like that. And then the next one was food. And so I have this picture where I didn't have any kind of food crochet pieces, and I was like, squid's kind of a food. So I had our dinner that we were making that night, and it was like meant to be like a bunch of baked, like roasted veggies, and I'd like move them apart, and I put these little squids next to them as though we were gonna cook them. Took the picture, and I was like, I am following these prompts. That's how we really got more and more into amigurumi and really challenged ourselves. I think around that time, the response from the community was so positive to whatever I was doing on there, and that really propelled me to keep crocheting and making content like I am now. So thank you to everyone from back in 2020. This was my first ever crochet pattern. This one I've taken down now because I never got it tested. I didn't really know what I was writing. I just kind of gave it a shot, and it's supposed to be like a pumpkin jellyfish, which looking at it now, this would have been a sick crochet pattern. I have no idea where it is now, but it had these like little leaf arms, and it was supposed to be like a little jellyfish thing. It kind of reminded me of the Pokemon Jellicent, if people know what I'm on about. I'll put a picture up. I should just redo it because this is cute. I love it. Look at it. Yeah. You may also recognize this as the Fascinator from that one time that I did drag back in 2021 or something. I'll put a photo up for you all because it's quite fun. I was like a pumpkin themed drag queen called Denise Nuts. My second ever pattern was the little kiwi bird pal. This pattern is the oldest one that I have on my store, and it is written on Word rather than Canva that I use now. And it's this cute little kiwi bird because I'm from New Zealand and I thought a kiwi bird would be nice. Would love to revamp the pattern sometime because I think what I would do is I'd do the feet differently. I wouldn't have them like sticking out as far. I think I'd just have them like flat on the bird, and I'll make the whole head and body one piece, and it'll be really cute. We'll get there, we'll get there. And then I also had a little rainbow bee, but my friend has taken that one home with him. And then I have this little trans flag color bee because I wanted to show off the importance of our trans friends and represent them in my crochet too. So this is my little trans bee. So cute, so cute. Around this time that I was learning to crochet and getting bigger on TikTok, I guess it was, a lot of people started getting into chenille yarns, and I was like, we have none of this in Australia. I really want to try and make something with fluffy yarn, just give it a shot. I just want to see what I could do and just see what it was actually like, because everyone in the US was making all these things and we're sitting there in like New Zealand, Australia being like, oh well. One thing they did have was this yarn called Bernat Velvet Plus. Each skein was like $23 in New Zealand, which is, honestly, I have no idea what it's in US. I'm gonna put a little translation up there for you, but it's a lot. And so I got it on sale for half price, which even then was still way too much. I started making these giant bees out of it, and they're so cute. I used some little felt eyes that I made on my Cricut, and then these have just been hanging around home, and every time my niece or nephew have been visiting as babies, this has been like an absolute go-to for them just to play with, just because it's so velvety. I think it's just like a texture thing or something to hold on to, but yeah. So I made these two bees, just as my way of like an introduction into chunky yarns before I ever found any in New Zealand, so. Very, very cute. Okay, look, I was trying to find like chunky chenille yarns, and I didn't really know what the difference was between like a chunky wool and a chunky chenille. So I found this chunky yarn in one of the stores, and I was like, perfect, I can finally make something. Chunky wool and amigurumi is horrid to the touch. I don't know, I mean, maybe that's just me being an absolute yarn snob, but like, it's just so fuzzy. This is supposed to be a Bulbasaur. I never actually finished the face. This is definitely one of my earliest whips that I never finished. But it's just so like you can see that, right? I think it's so gross. I hate this to the touch. I did not like making this, and that's why I never finished it. This would be cute if it was huge and done in chenille yarns, but with this wool, it was an absolute waste of wool yarns, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know where the rest of that wool yarn is gone now. It's somewhere out there in the world. So that was my other attempt at introducing myself into chunky chenille yarns. Finally, we found like it's like the blanket yarn. It's from, I think it's called like Cover Story or something. It's the ones that come in the giant wheels. And in New Zealand, they were like $49 a wheel. So I got 2 colors because I was like, this is my hobby, this is my passion, let's give it a shot. But one in this kind of sea color, and then another one in this white. And then I was like, I'm gonna make these giant cute animals. I have this axolotl here. It's huge. This is a giant axolotl. This is just because the blanket yarn was so thick. I think I would have used like a 9mm crochet hook to make this. Yeah, you can see that I've improved over time because this one still has like a bit of a cone head, which I've now learned how to avoid and whatnot, which I believe I actually have a video explaining how to avoid cone head things and like amigurumi tips. Just a representation of where I started with chenille yarns. Even with this blanket yarn as well, this Cover Story stuff, although it's like a soft and blanket yarny, it just feels so dense as well. It's just like, it's not like a nice kind of soft, like it feels like a towel. Although I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. This is an actual cute little plushie. But it hangs out here until my niece and nephew come home and play with it as well. And then last but not least, another faceless. Oh no, it does have a face. It has some black eyes that I put on there. Are these felted on? Oh my god, that would have taken me so long. For a while there, I was doing like jabbing felting onto things. That would have worked on here. It doesn't really work on the other chenilles, but yeah. Anyway, I made this giant bat. I think the wings are actually falling apart now because this is really hard to make with blanket yarn. They were just like kind of flopped down. It wasn't really structural. And I think the legs are also falling off because the sewing wasn't really well done. I think soon after this was when I moved to Australia. I feel like I really quickly improved over that first year of crocheting things, and I thought it was quite nice to come back here and revisit all these makes and just show you them all. If you had a favorite one of my first ever makes, please let me know in the comments below. Personally, my favorite I think is probably Oddish. I think this is just an absolute cutie. I think the colors I chose for it were all really good. I think a lot of these initial ones were done with Spotlight Marvel yarns if people were interested. And I think I used like a 4mm hook, which is why it's even more shocking that like the gaps on these projects are so tiny. That's just a testament to how tight my tension is. If I was using a 4mm hook, a lot of people like use a 2mm with this kind of yarn, so I am tense. Anyway, that's all my crochet projects for now. I'm gonna go back to chilling out with my family. I might actually grab my shirt that I intended on working on while I've been here, and let's see if I crack into it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go chill out. I don't know, I'm on holiday. This is the intention. After dinner walk.
Oh my god, we're about to be blessed. Hello. Hello. Hi. Goodbye. Oh, don't follow us. No. Bye. Oh.
Hello, shirt update. So I found some time last night to actually get some crochet done. I've done the inner lining of the shirt here. I'm still gonna do like another couple of rows. But as you see here, I've got some little buttonholes that I strategically placed because once you put this together, I wanted the buttonholes to be lined up with like the bottoms of each of these crisscrosses. Because rather than it like pulling and like stretching this little gap out, I want it to pull on the actual strengthened bit, if that makes sense. So it'll be kind of like that. And then once it's actually buttoned up, it should stretch out to a nice like flatter style so you can actually see the proper design of the shirt. So yeah, I'm gonna do another 2 rows on either side. And then I just need to do a few rows on the sleeves here and then figure out how to do the collar because I don't know. That's probably gonna be something I do on the plane. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out so far. So I'm gonna put it away for now and hopefully we'll find some time down in Auckland, which is where we're heading to today. And then I'll give you another update when I do. But for now, let's say bye to my house, my home. Bye home. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, beautiful. Bee! On the road again.
The road again.
Off we go. Safely driving down to Auckland.
Auckland, Auckland, Auckland. We're almost there.
Welcome to Auckland,
Yay.
the city of sails.
Of who?
Tamaki Makato. Are we in Sydney? Or are we in
Sydney?
Are we in Auckland?
Whoa, we don't know until this car moves.
Kia ora, Auckland.
Kia ora.
Kia
Whoa.
The New Zealand flag.
Wait, let me get it.
Aotearoa. Da 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 da. Do da do da 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 da. I should know my own national anthem. Hello, we've now made it to our Airbnb and now we're just gathering some things to go to my friend's house and go say happy birthday and have a few catch-ups with friends from New Zealand. Cute times ahead. Okay, bye.
Giant granny square, and then on the other side I'm going to do granny square rows, and then we
Hello, so we have done a few days here in Auckland now and we are on our last night here in New Zealand. We just spent like the past few days just kind of hanging around, catching up with friends and things. So I didn't get like a lot of footage and things, but we did stop by a cute yarn store which you just saw the footage of and it was a fun time. On our last night in New Zealand, we're actually going out to a dress-up party. So I thought it would be cute to show you what outfits we were wearing for the party. The theme was ironic. What is the theme? 2000s icons with ironic jobs that they now have today, I think. We've got help from the audience, thank you audience. Iconic figures in modern day jobs.
I think we failed the brief.
I don't think we're on the brief. I thought it was like 2000s icons if they were in different jobs today. I mean, we kind of technically are. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into costume and we're gonna give you a moment to guess and then we'll let you know what we are. So, one moment, don't look, we're getting changed. Ah!
Oh, you can't see my S.
Can you tell what we are? We'll give you a moment. If you guessed the Seasoning Girls, aka the Spice Girls, but as salt and pepper, then you would be correct. Wow!
It was so anticlimactic.
Creative, huh?
Well, we have to figure out something because we travel.
Yeah.
Something light because we travel. So
We were like, what's easy to dress up as? And then I was like, we could be like the Spice Girls, would just be seasonings. So here you have salt and pepper.
salt and pepper.
Yay!
You to spice up your dish. Don't over season.
You don't want too much of us.
No,
Not too much salt and pepper.
Just enough.
No. No.
This is quite fun.
Okay. We're gonna go now. Bye. See you whenever we next see you.
Calamari, 4 tacos, and 1 sundae.
Hello friends, we're just at the airport now, so it might be a little bit noisy. We had a lot of fun at our friend's 30th last night, but we're feeling a little bit dusty, let's be honest. We're just gonna chill out and slowly make our way home, and I'm gonna continue on with my crochet. It has been about 3 days now since we got back from New Zealand, and we've just been catching up on everything here in Australia, packing all the orders that I missed out on for Zeddy Crafts, catching up with the content that I was supposed to have prepared and posted and things, and just getting back into the swing of things. And now we finally get to sit down and just reflect on how the trip was. It was amazing. It was so nice being able to just go back to New Zealand and just get in touch with where I grew up and go see all my friends and my family and just have a nice relaxing time. As I was saying at the start of this vlog, I needed to relax, and I think this trip was like long overdue. There's just something about going back to your hometown or back to your family's home. It's like you go back home and you're just able to fully relax and snap back into it and just be like, I feel so rested and so light. I don't know what the saying is, but you know the feeling I'm trying to describe is that feeling, okay? And I guess the highlights of the trip was, yeah, seeing my family and friends, but also especially being able to show Ty, my partner, like where I grew up, because he hasn't seen it yet, and just show him like the behind the scenes of my family, which I think is always such like a funny thing to say, but it's such a real thing to say. It's like, when you are meeting someone, you see them for the face value, and especially when you're meeting like your partner's parents and things like that. But there's a difference between meeting them out for dinner and then actually going and staying with them and seeing the habits and everything like that. So it was quite nice to be like, this is where I grew up and this is how I was raised, and now you get to see why I do things and why I am the person who I am, etc, etc, you know? And that goes for also like catching up with my friends too, being like, oh, these are all the people that you've referred to in all these stories for this amount of time, so now I understand where you come from. I think that was like a real highlight for me. Plus it was also our first trip away together, so that was really lovely. I just had a really good time, if you can't tell. Yes, that's my reflections on the trip. 10 out of 10, great, relaxing, loved it. Best time ever, love New Zealand. And now that we're back, I get to show you what I did for my shirt. I guess the main thing I did with the shirt is I finished it. Hey! So I finished up the edges here from where I showed you last time. So I added like a few more rows out from where the buttons are. So now the buttons are kind of centered there, as you can see. And it just looks nicer. It's just like the perfect amount of thickness going around the border of the edge of the shirt. I also added a little trim to each armhole. They're a little bit more finished off than they were. I think before, just the way that these stitches are, this part can kind of look like a little bit too loose and just have like a chain going out. Like, it makes it a bit frilly, which isn't what I was going for. By doing this, I was able to thicken it up and give it a little bit more structure on the ends there. I do need to block it a bit just to really give it that structure, but I'm really, really happy with how it's looking now. And then last but not least, probably the most difficult part to figure out was the collar. This took me forever and took me about, I want to say 4 to 5 redos just to get it done. The issue was this part here. So it's gonna be hard to tell, but as you can see here, there's like, it goes X, X, and then up one and goes X, right? That's just how the shirt design was. I just kind of like missed a little gap here of another X, just because I thought it would be like an easier way to like trim down the collar area. But as soon as I did that, what it was doing was making this X part like really kind of squished when you put it on, and it would just be popping out. So I was trying to figure out some kind of way to make up for this little X structure whilst also making it slowly go up and across like that. And that took me forever. Hopefully you understood what I mean there. I know what I mean, and I'm not gonna explain it again. Essentially trying to give structure around the collar was really hard. Got it. But I got there, and now I've made it into such a way that it is easily fold overable and should flare out with like this little increases on the side here to the way that I want it to flare out. And I'm just gonna put it on and show you what I mean. Huh? How does that look, huh? Wait, stand up. Can I do... Huh? Huh? Doesn't that look nice? I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Like the collar especially just kind of folds over exactly how I wanted it to. Before, as I was trying to explain, this little part here was like really scrunching up. But now it kind of sits really nicely and I'm just so happy with how that's turned out. I still need to actually block the entire garment, but it is sitting nicely. I still need to put buttons on there as well. But that's just some finishing touches that I'll do at some point. I will need to go find some store that sells buttons so I can actually get into that next part. I will probably block it next week sometime when I have a little bit more free time. I'm pretty happy with this and I'm just gonna say this is the finished result and we can go with that. Yay! I finished my travel project. Yay! Anyway, now that we have finished the travel project, I guess that concludes the vlog. I just want to say a huge thank you everyone for joining in on this vlog. I know it was a bit of a different one. I haven't really done like a travel vlog as much. Like last time was like a crochet travel vlog, so there was like a lot more crochet content. This one is a bit more of a personal vlog in a sense. And I just want to say thank you for joining in. Thank you for coming along my little journey to visit my hometown, see my family, go on little adventures, revisiting my old crochet projects, and joining in the finishing of this travel crochet shirt, which I'm so happy that we finally got done. And I also just want to say an extra special thank you to everyone over my Patreon. Without your support, this channel would not be able to run, like quite point blank. It is because of all your support over on Patreon that I'm able to do this as a full-time YouTuber crochet artist type person, and I just can't thank you enough. So thank you so much. If you are in my Patreon, you have just seen that we've just put out a vote for our next crochet patterns. We usually do 2 crochet Patreon patterns per month, and I have just put out the latest designs onto my Patreon and people have just voted for them, so I'll be talking about those in the next vlog. So thank you so much for everyone on my Patreon for 1, supporting the channel, 2, joining in on this vlog, and 3, voting for those patterns. I'm very, very excited to get into those in next week's vlog. For now, I'm going to run away and go enjoy the weekend. So thank you so much for joining me here on today's vlog, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone, bye! This is the end of the vlog. This is when I do a little dance so you can check out what other things there are to watch in the vlogs and on my channel. Cool, ow. Bye!